I'm on a different mic now, though.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the start of our second and final game today. It's again the Conestoga Condors versus the Mohawk Mountaineers. This time it's the turn of the men. Matt, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. The men are coming off a loss, 1-0 to the Humber Hawks. However, Humber is the #1 ranked team nationally in all of OCAA, and they only lost because of a penalty in the 90th minute. So very, actually, I would say an impressive performance from a Mohawk team who wants to compete against programs like Humber, and Conestoga is a top 10 team in OCAA as well, so they're going to have another big challenge in front of them today. But I think they've been doing a lot of good things, and they got a lot of good things to build on. So we'll see how that all stacks up for them today against the Condors.
So 1-0, definitely not bad at all against the best team. And
absolutely.
For Conestoga, in their last game, they won 2-0 versus Redeemer. They're 4-1 this season on a 3-game win streak, so definitely catching fire. We'll see what the Mountaineers can do. Last time we saw them, Matt, they dominated against Lambton with a 2-0, 3-0 victory.
Yeah, it was I believe it was 2-0, and just overall, like, the best game we had seen them play all year for sure, and they were able to get their first win at home here at their new arena in St. Mary's. And they have lost their last 4 contests against the Condors, so they're going to look to break a bit of a historical losing streak. But that's kind of been the theme of the season, kind of rewriting the wrongs of the past and starting to write a new chapter for this Mountaineers men's soccer program.
As Carmoli was hit there and fell down as this game is underway. Sorry, we apologize for the little delay, but we are back. We are here, and again, I was telling you this earlier, Matt. Technically, the men's side undefeated at home, 2 draws and a victory.
Yeah, they, like you said, they haven't actually lost, and they've had a win, so they played well here. I mean, it's taken some last-minute dramatics like we saw in the first game, and some tight defensive plays. I think Torres is going to get called for a foul there.
As he continued his pressure, and that one will be handled by D'Souza. We'll just play it back there to Florescu. Florescu passes it across. Some big Conestoga defenders as that cross is played through, but will be handled by Ferrucci, who is back in net. Always good to see him, as he's been pretty brilliant so far in all the games that we've commentated on.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure to watch as he awaits. The long ball is up into Torres, but he's never going to be able to reach that one, especially with the big man there. Florescu is now the Condors trying to create something as down the flanks, Reese against Paxton.
And this is a big Conestoga team. They got 11 players 6 feet or taller, so a lot of size, especially on the back side of this Conestoga defense. So we'll see how Mohawk, who isn't necessarily a small team, but not quite stacking up in stature, is.
As the cross comes in, a battle, and loose ball again. The Mountaineers able to clear it away as Torres finds Carmoli. Carmoli trying to come in with speed. He's outnumbered, somehow gets away and gets around, tries to spring. Torres, could be a first real chance here for the Mountaineers. Carmoli into the middle. The cross is there, but will be cleared away by Florescu as Mountaineers off a quick counterattack off a very dangerous chance almost created their own dangerous chance.
And to be noted, no Mark Diani in the middle of this team, who has been really a staple of their squad, and he was sent off with a red card against Humber, so you have to think that's probably the reason he's not in this game, and I don't think we'll unfortunately be able to see him play today, but they'll find a way to replace some of that. Looks like they've got a couple different guys in the middle there.
Yeah, Rafosco was one of the better players in the victory that we saw against Lambton. We'll see if he can recreate that performance. That one is off the foot of Franco. Now the cross coming in for the Condors, headed away very nicely by Sinclair. It will not go out of play as Rafosco keeps it alive. Off the foot and still alive. And this time it will go out from Sab Kohar for a Mountaineer goal kick. Interesting to see, Matt. Obviously, the Mountaineers men's side a little bit lower on the standings. They want to keep victories coming, but it's definitely not going to be easy.
No, it's not going to be easy, and I think it's really at the end of the day going to come down to if they can maintain. They've defensively played well. I mean, Marco Ferrucci has 4th in total saves in all of OCAA, so that's a bit of a double-edged sword of a stat because, well, it means he's played well. They've also allowed a lot of shots on goal, so they're going to have to find a way to minimize those against the Conestoga team that's got a lot of experience, a lot of size, and they are, like I said, a top 10 team in the OCAA, so you're not going to have an easy matchup here, and you're not going to have a quiet day on either end of the field, of course.
That shot from Romano there was blocked very nicely by Giannicaro. So now Conestoga looking for a cross into the box. Gets through 3 players. The shot is blocked by Calamar Russell and then cleared away by Rafosco. The Flow continues his great play. He will actually not go out of play there as Florescu will be forced to pass it all the way back to Luca De Cosme, who is in net for Conestoga as they control it once again. That one this time, no through ball there as Aviles able to block it away. Now Torres, does he have enough? Not quite. As taken it was D'Souza.
And one of the goal scorers from our last game against Lambton, Graydon Howe, is waiting on the sideline to come in. They like to rotate him and Torres quite a bit. We'll see if it's Torres that is the one to come off for Howie.
He looked a lot better coming off from the bench than when he started. I feel like he was able to come in, players still getting used to it, maybe feeling already a little bit tired, so he came in with fresh legs and scored that penalty and was looking really good offensively, as it will be Torres that will come off.
Really, they do a lot of those quick subs. I mean, Torres didn't even get 8 minutes into this one, so they're going to, with having that kind of one lone man playing up front, they're going to want to keep that guy fresh because they're going to do a lot of through balls. They do a lot of counterattacking, and it's not an easy position to play as the lone man up there. So I imagine Torres and Howie will be kind of going back and forth pretty quickly.
As the throw-in is conceded by the Condors, will be taken there by Rafosco. As we mentioned, he was really probably the MVP of their last game that we commentated against Lambton in a victory. As his throw-in is up and away, and will be another throw-in for the Mountaineers. Again, as they continue to push up into the pitch, we'll have to see if this is able to cause any sort of offensive chance. As that throw-in into Carmoli does get knocked down. Will be controlled and kept alive by Franco, and that will be a corner one as the Mountaineers will get their first real chance here.
And that win against Lambton you mentioned, I think that was a huge mental victory for Mohawk as a team. We knew Rafosco was in our booth before that game saying we need 3 points, and I think that sentiment was echoed throughout the whole team. And then a good performance against the number 1 ranked Humber has them playing with, I think, a different level of confidence than we saw earlier in the year.
As Carmoli will set in for the corner, a lot of movement into the box, tried to find the Flow, who already has scored a corner goal, not quite able to, but again, good chance from the Mountaineers, a very good cross in from Carmoli. So now he will have a throw. He will be looking, and he'll decide to leave it off for Aviles, who will now take it. Aviles, able to find a man, actually. Dropped off for Carmoli. Tried to play it right back to Antunes, but then that one is cleared away. Now maybe a counterattack for the Condors. On the other side now, McKeon moves to the middle. The shot will be easily handled by Ferrucci, and that's always good to get a little warm-up to start this one. Ferrucci will just kick that one away.
We know he likes to boot it.
So that one headed off a few people, and Tunez lost control there. The move inside, and the referee will not play advantage as Mateo Grant did go down.
Seemed like a good call there by the ref. Both Mohawk defenders kind of got a piece of him there.
Leszek played it off to Antolik, who then left it. The cross on its way. Ferrucci will handle that one as Luca Romano was waiting for that. As now that ball sent forward. Carmoli trying to get around. Not quite able to get around Andreas Florescu.
And that's how Mohawk likes to threaten them. Just send a ball down there and see if you can get one of your skilled players like Carmoli or Howie or Torres to generate some sort of quick spring counterattack style offense, and that's how they've generated a lot of their goals outside of the corners that they've been excellent at this year.
Seems like the Condors enjoy putting in a lot of crosses, as now they're creating maybe another chance. Being controlled by D'Souza. Pressured by Howie, and does a very good job to force it back out to Florescu. He'll play it across now on the other side. Plays it back to Leszek. Gave it immediately right back on. The cross might be coming back on, but not yet, as Carmoli and Aviles with some tackles, but right through. And now a chance for the Condors, but not quite, as Evan Antolik nearly was through on goal after getting past two Mountaineer tackles. Ferrucci will once again just blast it his way away, as he can really send it far. And that one, not a good header at all. Now Carmoli now with the chance. Carmoli maybe tried to cross it into Howie. A bit of a miss kick, but a good chance created by the Mountaineers off of Ferrucci's long ball.
Good looking opportunity there. Yeah, I couldn't really tell if it was a shot attempt or a pass attempt into Howie, but just didn't quite make it through cleanly.
As nearly Conestoga came back with their own similar chance for Mateo Grant, but he's not able to get off of that one. It will be a throw-in now for Conestoga. So that one is played into the corner and being controlled. A shot or maybe a cross could be on its way here. Controlled by Grant. Puts in the cross. Hit off of Franco and cleared away. Carmoli can't get on the end of that one. Big tackle. A very nice move by Aviles. Aviles can't find Howie. That ball is too close to Florescu.
Aviles, though, not a bad ball. Just a little ahead of Howie's stride there. Couldn't quite catch up to it.
It's Carmoli with a very good block there on D'Souza.
The hand clear as day there. Incidental, of course, but maybe more of a reflex by Carmoli than anything.
I'd have to agree with you there. As Florescu will play it across. That is Elliot Dell who passes it back to Florescu. Now it's D'Souza. Mountaineers opting to give him that space. More worried about the cross, and there it is. It's pass, but Russell able to clear it after Rafosco was not able to get onto Sap Kohar. As now corner will be on its way. And it seems to be taken by Mateo Grant. Almost every single player from both teams in the box here. And it seems like Conestoga Condors do a similar play to the Mountaineers. They don't just stand in the box. They go on a little bit of some runs.
Mm-hmm. A lot of options for him in there.
The cross is in. It looks really good. The header, and it's in.
Wow, that was a perfectly placed cross by Grant.
And on the end of that was Luca Romano, who looked threatening, and what a finish for him.
He was there must have been a miscommunication in the box. He looked a little bit. There was just way too much space. He was a bit borderline unmarked, as you'll see this. See if the replay catches how
way unmarked.
perfectly placed that.
Nothing
that
Ferrucci
header
could
was.
do.
No, you can't really blame it on Ferrucci. Someone missed a man there.
Maybe a miscommunication for the Mountaineers, as unmarked was Romano, and he was able to finish that amazingly to his credit, and credit Mateo Grant for that amazing cross that found the head of Romano so easily. So the Mountaineers will have to see if they can respond, as Graydon Howie with a very nice move can't quite get around, as no call from the referee. So now the through ball comes in. Russell able to clear that one away and find Franco. Franco, a little bit of space, getting pressured now. Can't quite play it through, as Mountaineers look a little bit shell-shocked after that goal, Matt.
They do. I think that they're just going to have to shake it off. I mean, there's nothing else you can do. That was just a purely wonderfully executed cross and header by the Condors, and it looks like Franco might be taking up that role that Mark Diani usually plays, as he's unavailable due to a red card in the last match against Humber. But they're going to have to find a way to generate some sort of offense and get the ball out of their zone, because right now it is all Condors.
Yeah, the Mountaineers not really able to control a lot of the ball. Is D'Souza now with it? He'll pass it easily across to Reese. Reese will find Antolik.
We know that Mohawk is happy not to play with the ball as much. They're more of a counterattack kind of squad, but when you've just gone down a goal, playing on the back foot like this, it's not really going to lead to good things, and hopefully they can shut down this Condor attack that's building very nicely.
And Tolik will leave it across to Romano. Played back and given away, and Rafosco will do his job to just clear it away, as the Mountaineers seem to be on the back foot right now. As there seems to be a Conestoga player down.
I didn't see quite what happened on the back side of that play, but he's not seeming to be able to get up under his own power. Oh. Like he's holding his midsection there, maybe a bit of contact the ref didn't see, but hard to say.
Will be a Condor throw-in. As the throw-in does come in, Russell able to challenge that one and kick it away from Romano's feet for another Conestoga throw-in. Romano plays it short to Kohar. We'll play it back to Antolkic. Play it across to D'Souza. D'Souza will put in the cross, but Romano this time not able to get onto that one. Ferrucci will blast it away to Carmoli and Howie's direction, but it reaches neither of them. This time Carmoli with a bit of a shove will be called a foul on him.
Yeah, that one pretty clear there. This Condor attack so far has been very measured and calculated. They really have an excellent feel for these crosses that they've already scored off a corner once, and they've had a few good opportunities as well. Seems like that is their bread and butter.
They've definitely been impressive so far, Matt. And, we'll have to see how the Mountaineers can respond, but so far their crosses have just been absolutely terrific. As D'Souza, who's been one of those players with some of these amazing crosses, is looking once again. He's been given a lot of space by this Mountaineer defense, and he's been making them play a lot. As Lasik passes it across. Tried to make the nice move, but a great interception there by Aviles. Aviles trying to play Carmoli. There was a foul. It will be a Mountaineer throw-in. Not throw-in, sorry, free kick. Russell will take it. Mohawk will look for their first offense in a bit of a while now. It's been about 10 minutes of Conestoga pressure.
Yeah, ever since that goal, they've really been on the back foot a lot, and now Franco's going to try to turn this into a corner, but it'll roll out harmlessly for a goal kick.
Mountaineer substitution is being made once again. Seems to be Ignacio Torres coming back on the pitch.
Yeah, it seems like they're rolling out about a 8 to 9 minute shift length for these strikers. See if it might be Carmoli coming out and how he's staying on, but just a little more, barely a breather there for Torres, really.
And Tolkic plays it across. Condors cross again into Romano. It is over his head and Sinclair's.
Oh, but kept in there.
Romano keeps it in, plays it to the side of McKeon. McKeon still going. He cannot keep it in, but a very good effort.
He's leading. McKeon's the goal leader with 3 tallies on the year for the Condor squad.
As it is Carmoli coming off for Torres. So far, the only substitutions made were Torres coming off for Howie, and now Carmoli coming off for Torres. So it will be a goal kick for Ferrucci. Be interesting to see if the Mountaineers change their strategy a little bit. They haven't really been able to create much offense, as we already mentioned, in the last 10 minutes. As Ferrucci will smack it high and away into the head of Sinclair and Antunes. Franco able to get a touch, springs Howie forward. Graydon Howie waiting for players in the box, trying to make a move on D'Souza. Fakes the cross, then puts it in, then gets it back, then puts it in again. And I tell you what, a very good play there with Howie and Franco.
Excellent, excellent.
Howie with a very good move on D'Souza with the fake cross, then with the nice pass.
Almost how you doing right there? That almost found its way into the back of the net, but a good save, actually. Very, very nicely done.
Cosme had to dive all the way out of that to make sure that one didn't curl into the bottom corner. As now the corner being taken by Torres. Mountaineer players outside the box. It will be played short to Howie this time, something we haven't seen before. Torres tried to cross it back in. A counter-attacking chance maybe for the Condors. Out of the net is Ferrucci. He does miss it. So that one is going into the corner and will be kept in. But Sinclair able to steal it away from Kohar. Franco tries to play it forward as he yells out a bit of frustration there.
He had a tough game last one we called against Lambton with a lot of physicality against him. And he picked up a yellow card actually in that contest.
Yeah, somehow he was the one that picked one up after getting shoved, but he's been very tough, as now Romano has it. The only goal scorer so far for either side being pressured by Antunes. Will be played back to Florescu. Now easily touched away by Antolkic. Back to Florescu. He gives it across to D'Souza. D'Souza being given time, and he's got a lot of crosses. This time he'll just pass it back to Florescu.
Mohawk really sitting back in their end, just not wanting to allowing Conestoga to sort of switch sides probably 3 or 4 times where they make their attack, but really nobody pressing.
As the throw-in on its way by Grant, who had the assist from the corner. Grant plays it short to McKeon. Will go out once again. This time it'll be a Mountaineer throw-in. As it is Paxton throwing it down off the head of Franco, off the foot of Howie. Sadly, Torres not there. Florescu plays it across to Dell. Elliot Dell back to Florescu. Conestoga more than happy, just holding on to this one, trying to create a crossing chance as Dell gets it back from Reese. The Condors continue their push. Dell waiting. This time will chip it forward down into the corner. Romano in a battle. It does go out of play, and it will be a Mountaineer goal kick.
still all Conestoga, really. Haven't seen a whole lot of attack from this Mohawk squad, who's been hemmed into their own end, been playing a lot of defense.
As they are making yet another substitution here. Just have to see who that is. The goal kick is over the head of Franco, played right back and controlled by Conestoga, but a nice header and away there from Russell. As now Amadeo Rafosco tried to play it through to Torres, will go out of play for a throw-in.
Should see the Mohawk sub, but I guess they'll play on.
That one across to D'Souza. D'Souza plays it short to McKeon. Plays it across to Antolkic. Plays it down into the corner. The cross, very nice block there by Rafosco. Looked a little bit shaken up there, but he seems to be alright, as now the substitution will be made. As it is one of the center backs. Coming out is Sinclair. He will get a well-deserved rest. As now
Daikema coming in.
it is Daikema, 6'5", so definitely the height, maybe a height substitution there for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, they are a little outsized against this Conestoga team, so can't hurt just to get a tall beanstalk there in the middle of the field who can contest with some of these crosses and headers that Conestoga's been threatening this Mohawk team with. Frankly, since the goal scored, I would have to say it's been all Condors, so I think we're going to have, it'll just be a throw-in.
It's definitely been all Conestoga, especially after that goal scored, as the throw-in is into the box, off a few heads, and the shot just goes wide there, coming from McKeon, as it seemed to be deflected and will lead to a corner. Some good defending there from the Mountaineers off that dangerous throw-in.
Keon did get a marker in the win against Redeemer and Conestoga's last outing, and he'll look to add to his yearly total. Maybe with a goal here in a dangerous spot.
As the corner kick is up, off the head of D'Souza, into another head, hit away, and it will be called a foul there, as it was Giancarlo that went up and got hit pretty hard there by Lesick. Ferrucci not taking his time with this one, sends it to Torres. It's past his head and taken by Grant. We'll just play it across, and again, Mountaineers not really able to control the ball.
No, they've really lost the possession game this half, and while we know that isn't necessarily their mode of attack that they like to do, to build up slowly, it's more of a fast through ball spring action kind of attack. It's not boding well for them to sit back and allow Conestoga to really control the pace and switch sides as much as they like, and really just be the driver in this contest.
It's clear that Conestoga's game is the crosses, and obviously, they scored off a corner, but their crosses have looked very dangerous, especially from what we've seen from D'Souza just right in front of us. The left back, center back has looked absolutely terrific. We'll have to see if the Mountaineers are able to start creating some offense as they settle into this one. Still only 30 minutes in, very early stages, but not a lot of positives from the Mountaineers, especially offensively. So that one does go out of play and will be another corner for Conestoga. They've gone about 4 corners so far in just 30 minutes. The Mountaineers have had a few of their own, but the Condors definitely in control. As what a corner that is, whipped perfectly into the box. And
dangerous.
It was a clearance. That would have been an own goal, but I think maybe from our angle it looked closer than it was. But again, another beautiful corner there coming in from Mateo Grant. I mean, the curl on that is just superb. As now another corner being set. This time will be taken by Sab Kohar. Kohar, the captain for this Condor squad, awaiting for players to be set in the box. As the cross is on its way, Ferrucci can't get to it, and it just goes wide. As you see Romano having his hands on his head in a bit of disbelief, as more substitutions will be made for the Mountaineers, as Carmoli is coming back on for Howie. And we see another substitution coming on. As coming onto the pitch is Taven Brown for the first time in this one. That Ferrucci goal kick will be controlled by Brown. Plays it back to Dajikema. Tried to find Torres, a very nice touch. Carmoli now could have chances in the box. Carmoli with the cross over Torres' head, off of the foot of Franco, nearly for the Mountaineers, but they've got to sustain it. They've got to create more. And now, almost immediately, the Condors, with their own chance, but Ferrucci will control.
First real dangerous looking opportunity for the Mohawk Mountaineers, as Franco was almost able to give them a second berth at that, and unfortunately the initial cross just went over Torres' head. As like Alves will have a foul called on him there.
Some very good sportsmanship there from Franco just to help up Grant, who just got tripped up there by Antunes. Nothing dangerous about that, just a miss kick.
I think Grant might be the challenger for Calamar Russell's title as the king of the flow, but I don't think the man bun really holds any water against the true flow of Mr. Calamar Russell.
Yeah, obviously, man bun's nothing wrong with that, but the Russell's flow so far I think is pretty unmatched.
You know, we had the bleach blonde last week, and now we've got a bit of the samurai knot on the head of Mateo Grant. It's a good look.
Huh? He's gotten some good crosses, obviously has the assist, so it's definitely helping him out so far as he gets it again, makes a nice move around Brown, who will pull him down. He's not too happy about that. Could be a yellow card.
And now the man bun will get an opportunity in a really dangerous location for a free kick, assuming he is the one to take it.
Seen so far, the Condors have had some great chances through crosses, and the Mountaineers give them another chance with this free kick, as it will be taken by Grant. Players in the box yelling some orders here. As Grant sets and waits patiently for the referee's signal. Whistle's blown. The free kick is up, headed away, but not cleared completely. Stajikema does get a foot on it. Franco not able to. So possession will be reclaimed right back and will be given right back to Grant. Grant's cross this time. Blocked off. Lesick played it to D'Souza. D'Souza switches sides, and a beautiful ball there to Kohar. Kohar has it taken away by Rafosco. Tried to play it to Torres. Not quite able to. So that one reaches the feet again of Grant. Grant with the cross. Russell not able to get under it. Romano the shot, and it's 2-0.
And Russell just barely missed clearing that one out, and it's going to cost them, unfortunately. Just a nice touch there.
Not going to miss those.
Not going to miss a shot from in there wide open.
Nothing Ferrucci can do once again, as Romano with his second of this one. He's looked very dangerous, and he's been given a lot of open looks, so he's made the Mountaineers pay.
Yeah, and like we said, it's just, that cross game is just hard to contest with. Calamar Russell trying to clear it away with his head, actually unfortunately pulled him way out of position, and the ball ended up in a dangerous spot with Romano able to sink that one in for the 2-goal lead.
So it is now 2-0 for Conestoga Condors, as the Mountaineers did make a sub. Fosco did come out of the game. It's now Torres. Plays it to Franco. Franco to Carmoli. And the Mountaineers bench wanted a shot there. As it just seems they're able to create one offensive chance, but then they're not able to get another one. They're not able to string consecutive chances. That one is over the head of Franco.
Zero sustained pressure, frankly, from Mohawk so far in this one. They maybe have something to build on here with a turnover in midfield.
Aviles to Brown. Not quite the pass to Franco. And down goes Grant once again.
I'm actually surprised there was no whistle on that. It was a shove that was maybe not the most necessary.
As advantage does play on. That one blocked by Russell this time. Down into the corner where Ben Bowden able to clear that one away.
Ben Bowden, a defender who had a spectacular looking goal in the game against Lambton. As we'll get a look at this shove. Yeah, a little late. Probably could have had a foul called there, but it's okay.
It's probably advantage played on by the ref, as that one is sent back to Florescu. We'll have to see if Mountaineer strategy changes. So far, it really hasn't, and they're just going to sit back.
Yeah, this hasn't bode well for them so far. It's kind of sitting in their own end, allowing Mohawk, or Conestoga rather, to set themselves up in these dangerous positions that generate either a free kick or a corner, and that's how they've scored. So, and here we go again with a dangerous-looking start from Conestoga.
It reminds me a lot of the St. Clair game, except the Condors are creating a lot more chances than how St. Clair did with these crosses.
Yeah, and a couple of unfortunate mistakes. I mean, Calamar Russell just jumping a little early on that last one. Can't really blame him too much, hold it against him. I mean, mistakes are going to happen. He's been the most consistent defender for him. But if you are going to sit back, you really can't afford more than one or two mistakes, because this Conestoga team is talented enough to capitalize in a way that maybe St. Clair and didn't quite have the offensive prowess to do.
As D'Souza plays it forward, and we'll get it immediately back from Reese. He will switch it to the other side. As once again, Dell, this time with the cross, couldn't quite find the head there of Antolkic. Will go out for a corner.
It'll be the fifth corner for Conestoga for the half, so that alone will tell you what end the ball has been in largely throughout the first 37 minutes.
Just the corner will be taken again by Kohar. It is on its way over everyone's head. It just sent wide by Florescu, as the Mountaineers will make another sub. Sinclair will be coming back on. This time he's coming on for, seems to be Franco. So I'll have to see who will be switching positions.
Maybe Ben Bowden moving up into the midfield, or actually looks like Sinclair will take up that spot. Looks like they're kind of having to be a little bit creative with filling that role that Deanne usually takes up.
Definitely changing formations a little bit. As again, a very nice move past Ijakema. Sinclair able to put some pressure, but now a toe kick plays it across. Will be cleared away. Taken right back again by Kohar. He will leave it for Dell. For a toe kick. Play it across. Still being held. Finds Grant. Grant back into the middle. Lesick. The cross. It's a cross and it's in. 3-0. As it's Romano again completes the hat trick already in the first half. A beautiful volley. Again, nothing Ferrucci can do about that.
Not really, and honestly, it's a broken record of an offense here, but it's working. I mean, that's pretty much the exact same play 3 times that's scored. I mean, the crosses come in from a different location each time, but it's basically been the same setup, and Romano's been on the end of that 3 times in a row. And I think Ferrucci's voicing a little bit of his own displeasure with what's been going on. So, and it looks like there'll be a number of substitutions. Ben Bowden's leaving the game.
I mean, Ferrucci hasn't really been given a chance on either one of those. As the Mountaineers clearly showing some frustrations between themselves. It is now 3-0 only in the first half. The most goals we've seen scored by any team here at St. Mary's. As Carmoli's back on, multiple substitutions made by the Mountaineers as they scramble a little bit to try to find an answer.
I think if you can find a way to pull a rabbit out of a hat and get 1 goal before the end of this half, you're really going to set yourself up for success going into the half already down 3 goals.
As Avila's
tough spot. Avila's
battling. He's in a 1 versus 3. It just seems the Mountaineers cannot sustain some help.
I guess they just don't feel they can commit more than a couple of guys to an attack at a time with the way their defense is played, unfortunately.
And Tunez finds Carmoli, gets shoved. The call will be made. So it will be a free kick in a decently dangerous area for the Mountaineers. As you said, Matt, they'd definitely like to get at least 1 goal back before the half ends.
I think that even mentally would be huge.
Definitely gives some confidence back as Carmoli will take the free kick. Players into the box. Could go for goal. It is definitely high as the cross over off the goalkeeper's hands for
dangerous bobble.
Won't be a corner as I guess the ref decided that the keeper was hit while he was in the air, which would make sense for him bobbling and falling like that. So it will be a goal kick now for De Cosme. Another Mountaineer sub waiting to come on here. It seems like Antunes will be heading off for Amadeo Rafosco. It's been really a disappointing first half for the Mountaineers, especially offensively. Haven't really had anything consistent. They've had their chances for sure, but nothing consistent. It seems like after their chance, they won't get another one for another 5 to 8 minutes. Sinclair heads it forward to Torres. Torres tried to play Carmoli, wasn't able to, but Sinclair does push up, able to find Carmoli this time. Carmoli makes a very nice move, then finds Sinclair, but a very good interception there from Florescu. As now, again, another tackle on Mateo Grant. That's probably the 8th one onto him.
Yeah, I think the ref just laid down the law and said, if you touch Mateo Grant again, you're going to be at least a yellow. I mean, I think that's what the message was there.
And honestly, I think that's fair. He's gotten tackled a lot of times and definitely a lot of fouls, so definitely the right decision from the ref.
Good to see him up on his own 2 feet there. It's a little stumble, but a little bit of a hitch in his giddy up, but he seems to be generally okay.
Been one of the better players so far in this game for either team, and definitely for the Condors, as he has every single assist, I'm pretty sure.
At least 2, but I think you're right.
I think D'Souza has at least 1.
Yeah.
Is now, once again, Conestoga controlling the play. Florescu plays it into Lesic. Lesic plays it to Reese. We'll just find Lesic. Lesic will play it back to Kohar. We'll leave it for Florescu. Lesic finds Romano. Back to Lesic. Back to Romano as Conestoga controlling the ball eloquently is now Lessick once again. This time he chips it forward. Maybe another chance. But that one cleared and then hits off a Russell as the Condor bench wanted a handball. Didn't quite look like it, but was very close. It's Romano with it, being pressured by Vilas. D'Souza finds Romano. Romano blocked by Vilas. And now Rafosco maybe with a chance to counterattack. Does a great ball there to Carmoli. Carmoli can't play Torres. It is blocked. And then once again, Florescu able to clear it away, and it will be a foul. There's some good sportsmanship there.
Has to be frustrating for Mohawk, like you've been saying, Harrison, with such sparing opportunity for a goal to have your one opportunity go by and then play defense for 5 minutes. I mean, it's got to be frustrating, and they really need to find a way to sustain a little pressure.
Definitely is not fun as we've reached the 45th minute here of the first half. We'll just have to wait and see how much time will be added on here from the referee.
If you look at the game stats, too, it's only 4 shots on goal for this, or 4 total shots, 3 shots on goal. So every shot that Conestoga's put on,
it's been dangerous.
It's been dangerous. It's been a very economical attack, but it's worked really well. And I think where Mohawk's falling behind is that they're getting opportunities, but it's not really materializing into something that's putting any real threat on that Conestoga defense. As another one's going to sail into an easy save, and then
that'll be the half. First half will be over here. Pretty dominant from the Conestoga Condors as they lead 3-0 already. As you said, all 3 of their shots on goal have been dangerous indeed, as we'll have to see what the Mountaineers can do in response, because there wasn't really much of one in that first half. So we'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes here. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the second half of our final game here between the Mohawk Mountaineers and the Conestoga Condors. As after the first half, Matt, it's really been all Conestoga.
It has. I mean, there's really been no answer from this Mohawk team. It looks like they've actually taken out Marco Ferrucci out of the net, although personally I don't think you can really blame him for any of those goals. I mean, obviously there's always a degree of blame on the goaltender, but really there was defensive breakdowns and just really difficult, like perfectly placed corners that and crosses that led to those goals. So interesting choice, but I guess maybe you're just sparing him from the onslaught. I'm not sure, but I think Marco Ferrucci isn't fully the reason they're down 3-0 right now.
No, definitely not. I think you're right. They're definitely just taking him out just to keep his confidence up, because they are letting in a lot of goals, and definitely not on Ferrucci. At least most of them is now Conestoga again continuing their attack. The Mountaineers really had some chances, but nothing sustained. So we'll have to see if that'll change in this second half. It is possible they can easily get 3 goals back if they start playing good. There's that shot on, and a great save early on. First shot there immediately on Connor Miller, who's come on for Ferrucci, and he makes a great save.
Yep, he's getting himself into this game right away. I mean, that's actually the first save Mohawks had. I mean, because Ferrucci, although he had a busy half, it was only 3 shots on goal, and they all unfortunately went in. So it's the first time we're seeing a save.
As the cross is low from the corner, will be cleared away by Russell right to Howie, and maybe a chance for the Mountaineers. Howie does lose it though. So again, Conestoga will pick up. As the cross once in again. Seems to be in the middle. Now controlled again by the Condors. Passed across. Maybe a shot. Fakes it. Nice little 1-2 there, but Avilas able to intercept that. Ben Bowden plays it forward. Carmoli with it. Carmoli puts the cross into Rafosco. It's just past him on the through ball there. So once again, the Condors will come right back as into the middle of and Tolkick. He'll play back to Dell. Dell will find Florescu. With it is Reese. Down into the corner is Kohar. Kohar will play it back to Dell. Dell to Florescu. Finds Reese. Back to Florescu. Florescu will try to play it forward, but Ben Bowden easily stops that one. Avilas finds Graydon Howie. Back to Bowden. Bowden still with it, making strides. Does lose it though. Tries to recover and nearly does. Avilas continuing the pressure with Antunes, but now a chance for Conestoga. Once again, the cross into the middle will be cleared away by Bowden, but not completely out. And now a shot as Russell tried to block that, and a very nice save for Miller.
Early on, the Condors look like they have not lost a step after halftime. I'm really impressed. This is probably the most complete-looking offensive attack I've seen from any team we've been able to commentate so far. They're really all on the same page, and it has led to a lot of, obviously, a lot of goals. Three in the first half alone.
Has some big tackles there on both sides as the throw-in will come in from Conestoga as they continue to control the ball. And yeah, Matt, definitely, I mean, they really haven't made any mistakes.
No, and if Mohawk, I mean, the whole story of this season is we're trying to turn a chapter on, or turn the page onto a new chapter of Mountaineers men's soccer. But if you want to do that, you're going to have to compete with these teams. Like Conestoga is a top 10 team nationally in the OCAA. You're going to have to really elevate your game. You know, you're going to have to win those games against, you know, lower teams. But also when you face a really strong team, elevate your game. And unfortunately, Mohawk just hasn't been able to quite get that done today.
We'll have to see if that'll change. But so far, you're definitely correct, Matt. They have not been able to keep up with Conestoga. It's a very nice throw from Bowden as Carmoli just put to the ground there by Florescu. So that one's being controlled by D'Souza. He will play it across into Fodiatis. He'll play it right back to D'Souza. Into the middle. It's Lesick. Back across. Again, the Condors pressing forward once again. So Romano leaves it to the side of Reese. Puts it back across. Lesick has Romano in the middle. He'll take it on this time, and will be another save for Miller.
Busy half for Miller. Already facing just, I think, the same amount of shots that the Condors had on goal all first half with 3. So he's already been involved in this one.
So now Carmoli off the miss kick will play it through to Howie. He is onside. Howie gonna keep it alive, puts in the cross, but will be easily handled there by DeCosme. And he'll play it quickly ahead into Kohar. Kohar puts it across to Reese. Reese to Antolkick. He'll just play it back. This has been Conestoga's gain. Has Lesick with it now. It's just been control possession. Lesick passes it across once again. Another cross coming in, aimed for Romano. This time cleared away, and now the Mountaineers have possession. That one played forward through Rafosco. Carmoli after it, not going to be able to get it.
And Mohawk, I just feel like they need to really make a little bit more of the possession when they have it, because their time with the ball is so few and far between. It's just frustrating to see them turn the ball over almost immediately after these long extended periods of defending. Like, it looks like we're going to start another one now.
Pushing forward, Lesick to Romano. Tried to play him through, and it will be cleared away by Miller. But yeah, to your point, Matt, it just seems like the Mountaineers are going for Hail Mary passes instead of trying to control it. And as Carmoli does it once again, they just don't really seem to want the ball.
And I get, like, that is their game. We know, as I think Rafosco, unfortunately, that'll fizzle out as well. I know their game is, let's go for these Hail Marys. Let's go for these quick counterattacks. Yeah. Frankly, though, I don't think we've seen that really be the measure of their, successful games. I think a lot more of the time it's coming off of free kicks and set plays and stuff like that. So I understand that that's how they feel their strength is, but when you're getting outmatched like you are in this game, I think maybe trying to build a little bit more possession, build it up slowly, maybe give that a shot. But for now, they're sticking with their tried and true formula.
It's definitely not worked in this game as it maybe has in past games. Now the corner will be on its way from Carmoli. It is low, but it will just be easily taken there by Antolkick. And now a counter-attacking chance, as it will be controlled by Conestoga. That ball put in front to Antolkick. He makes his move to the inside, into the middle, but a very vital interception there by Genicaro, which is cleared out by Miller. But once again, as that one actually is offside, so it will be a Mountaineer free kick with a substitution being made. As
there seems to be a level of trust amongst this Condors team that I don't know if Mohawk's lacking just on this day or if it's a more fundamental issue, but the Condors, they really play all as one. You can see there's very, very rarely an errant pass or an unforced error, whereas Mohawk, like we've said, it's going for these long Hail Mary sort of big home run hitting plays that really you end up on the back foot a lot more when they don't work because they are such a low percentage play. But I think the Condors have really shown them, what a fully veteran, experienced team can do when they're all on the same page and firing on all cylinders.
So that one hit Aviles in the head. So now again, Conestoga controlling the ball, and you can see the difference between some of these better teams as the Mountaineers just really haven't really been able to build a response to any of the goals that Conestoga have scored. But now Torres back on the pitch with a nice cross to Rafosco. And Medio Rafosco makes his move. The ball does get past him. Seemed to get tripped, but no call from the referee. It's now Florescu with it. Pressured by Howie. And Antolkick now looking down the flanks. So now once again, it's Fodiatis to Romano. Back inside to Antolkick. He looks for runners. Waits. As the pressure continues to build on the Mountaineers. Down to Romano. Back into the middle. Ball is played through. Another chance to make it 4, but Russell able to just clear that one away, and a vital clearance. As once again, Conestoga looking for a 4th.
And they're really building up the way they built towards goals in the first half. They're doing the exact same thing here, relatively unchallenged. I wonder if missing Mark Diani in the middle of this midfield and on the back end's hurting them a lot more than maybe we had initially anticipated it would, due to his availability because of the red card in the previous game.
It's definitely possible, as Antunes does come off here for Juan Franco, who's making his first appearance of the second half. As once again, the Condors, I mean, you've got to think they've had at least 80% of the percentage in this one.
And then that could even be a generous, number in terms of Mohawk. I think it's been 80 to 85 even at times, just with how dominant this Condors team has looked.
As Dell with the cross over Romano's head, but it will arrive to another Conestoga player. That time does get past Fodiatis and will be out of play for another throw-in.
Romano looking like he might get a 4th in this game. I would be amazed, but he's really the one they're targeting on the end of these beautiful crosses and set plays.
And he's obviously done very well through that with 3 goals, so a pretty good day for him. As Romano with it once again, tried to play it through. A nice header, not able to be cleared by Franco. Russell gonna put it as Rafosco can't control it off a very nice tackle from Dell. Back into the middle. And Toll kick.
Advantage played there.
Lesick now off the advantage. Back to Antol kick. He plays it down into the corner of Fodiatis. Back to Lesick. Into the middle left, Antol kick. That cross will just be too hard and will lead to a goal kick.
Coming into this game, Condors only were averaging 13 shots. They really haven't put up that many shots on goal. You can tell they're really focused more on the quality of opportunities as opposed to a quantity, and it clearly has worked out so well for them. As they're not just rifling shots on, as Emilio Rafosco challenges there.
Nearly had a chance. He is taken down, so a dangerous free kick chance for the Mountaineers. We'll have to see if they can get one back. So they're still down 3-0 to start this second half. Hasn't really seemed, Matt, that they've changed tactics.
No, not really, but this is an opportunity for them. The problem is, can you capitalize? I mean, the way it's gone, this is the way you're going to be able to get back into the game, is off of a free kick in a dangerous spot, because clearly in regular 11-on-11 play, you're just not up to snuff, unfortunately, with the Conestoga team.
Free kick on its way from Franco. Referee saying some last couple orders. Whistle is there. Franco looking. Crosses up. Looking good to Sinclair. Does go out of play and will be a corner. So the Mountaineers get another chance. Not a bad effort there by Franco.
No, I thought that was a decent effort. I think it just missed Sinclair a little bit. He was almost able to be on the end of that one.
So now the corner will be taken by Torres. Once again, Mountaineer players moving around, not necessarily deep into the box, as that one is taken short, as again just doesn't work out. Will be a throw-in for the Mountaineers.
They like to go for that short corner a lot, but I don't think we've seen it really work out for them.
Definitely not in this game, as this ball from Torres looks to be trying to get it into the box. It's a bit short off the head there of Ethan Fodiatis, but will be caught easily by DeCosme. He will play it forward, and now maybe a counter-attacking chance for Conestoga as Romano leaves it off to Antolkick. He'll play it back to Lesick. Lesick plays it forward for McKeon. Lesick once again plays it across to Reese. Florescu back across to Dell. Back to Florescu. Into Reese. Reese to McKeon. McKeon makes his move to the middle, getting some pressure. Howie able to tip it away, but not able to keep possession as Florescu once again with it. He'll play it in front. Romano. Back to Florescu. Back to Lesick. And it just seems like the Mountaineers not putting enough pressure. But as I say that, Franco takes it away. Getting grabbed. Howie tried to make it to Florescu. Wasn't able to. And that one sent right back to Kohar. Kohar gets around Franco. Plays it into Reese. Back to Kohar. Can't get past Torres. Aviles is there as well. That one over Rafosco's head. And the first substitution coming in here for the Condors, as it will be a goalie substitution.
Sure if there was some sort of injury or if this is just maybe an equipment issue there. Is not sure what would have prompted a goaltending sub. But if you're Conestoga, I mean, you're going to be just totally happy to play this exact game. The way the last 3 to 4 minutes just went for Conestoga, where they were pretty much unchallenged, just changing sides of the field with the ball, but really never having to move the ball up too much. And when they did turn the ball over, the attack fizzled out for Mohawk. I think if you're Conestoga, you'll happily drain the next, 29 minutes of play out exactly like we just saw. And if you're Mohawk, you're going to have to find a way to get them off of that game.
The Mountaineers do make a sub as Carmoli has come back on. He came on this time for Amadio Rafosco. And just offensively, nothing really positive for the Mountaineers. They just haven't been able to string consistency. They're not putting that much pressure, and they're letting the game come to them, and it hasn't worked out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think why not change to a strategy a little bit more just pure aggression? I mean, what do you have to lose? You're down 3-0. You haven't generated a shot really this half. Let's go full press. Let's really put the pressure on them and see what we can do. But nevertheless, the coaches have a game plan, and they seem to want to stick to it.
So that one is left for Lesick. Getting it back is Dell, and he'll just play it back to D'Souza. As the new goalie is Cassian Cardos. For Conestoga, as that through ball is deflected away by Bowden. Giannicaro can't get onto that one as Romano takes it away. Now Lesick with it. Back to Romano. Tried to play it through. Runs into the referee. Lesick. Romano. Has options. Leaves it for Antolkick. He plays it forward. But the tackle there as McKeon could not get through. Now Aviles tries to play it up to Carmoli. A big touch. That one will deflect and out of play for a Mountaineer throw-in. Aviles looking for his options. Tried to find Carmoli. It was headed away. Now in Antolkick with it. Antolkick puts it across as he's pushed down by Kohar. There's definitely frustration for the Mountaineers, building up into just not too aggressive fouls, but really obvious foul calls.
Yeah, I think that was not necessary from Avila. It's not that it was dirty, just unnecessary contact. It obviously helped them up. Nothing dirty, but probably could have gone without that.
As Lesick tried to make the through ball there, but some great defending coming out of Joshua Phillips. We then cleared that one away, so it will be a Condor throw-in.
Lesick actually got the first assist. I know we were saying that Grant may have gotten all three in the first half, but Lesick actually is credited with the assist on the first Romano goal.
There's another substitution for the Condors here. as the throw-in comes into the middle, will be cleared away by Chinacaro. As more substitutions being made for the Mountaineers. 4 substitutions. As Ben Bowden coming off, Joshua Phillips, Sinclair, Jalen Sinclair as well. Coming on seems to be Rafosco. That might be Dijakema.
A whole platoon change there. It's got a new look squad basically out on the field now for Mohawk, trying to get anything going.
Seems as well Paxton has come on. It's a counter-attacking opportunity for the Mountaineers. Down the flanks is Torres. He will get there before Florescu. Can't get around him though. And that one stays in. Torres not able to get on the end of that one. That will be a foul on him for another free kick. It's definitely at this stage of the game where, you know, if you're the Mountaineers coaches, you're looking at your players, they're not really creating anything, not sustaining. Like, you would love, as you said, Matt, to change, you know, the tactics and just say, like, just go for it. Everybody put all the pressure you have. We have nothing really to lose. But so far, not really any indication of that from the Mountaineers bench. Obviously, we don't know what they said during the halftime break.
Yeah, I think they're just maybe feeling like they have to commit a fair bit of their strategy just to the back end because of how collected and effective this Conestoga offense has been, that you really can't afford to. But, I mean, I would argue, hey, like we said, there's nothing to lose. You're already down 3 goals. But, you know, we don't, as you said, we also don't know what was said, and we don't really know what the general strategy is. Now, Conestoga is going to have a platoon change of their own with 4 new guys coming in, including Austin Hunt.
Seems
Manny
like
Rodriguez.
The reserves might be coming in now for Conestoga.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we're still loads of time left. I mean, you're still looking at, 20 minutes or so, 23 minutes. But why not at this point with nothing seemed to be moving.
Nothing scaring the coaching staff from the Mountaineers. No. But as you said, still a lot of time left, so maybe if Mohawk can take advantage of this confidence from the Conestoga bench. Rafosco couldn't get onto that one. Russell sends it to Aviles. Aviles makes a nice move around. Couldn't quite get through as he was tripped up.
Even a goal could be a good moral victory at this stage after what's been a really tough outing if you're a Mohawk Mountaineer player. I mean, you score 1, maybe 2. Even if you don't get all the way back, at least you've made it a more respectable competition.
Brown could not get on the end of that one. Goal kick will be on its way. Played down low into Kohar. Rafosco there to pressure, but now Florescu with it. He'll center it and get it right back there from Urozevich. Back down the side. As the Condors try to come right back as Hunt with it. Good pressure by Carmoli to win that. Torres tried to put the touch, but again, just not the best performance so far from the Mountaineers. Florescu lays it forward, a very nice touch. Carmoli can't get on the end of that one as Rafosco thought about putting pressure, couldn't quite. A great ball forward. As now a big challenge there, but he did get the ball before. A very nice challenge from Paxton onto Bawa. So now Kohar plays it forward, and that's definitely a yellow there on Carmoli.
Yeah, you have to think there's a little bit of emotion creeping in. Definitely the mounting frustration of a tough game, and I think that was a well-warranted yellow card. Take a look at that. You can see there was tons of contact. instantly the ref went for that card, and you said it right away, Harrison.
Yeah, it's at the point now where the Mountaineer players, if seemingly because of their offensive woes that they can't get a consolation goal, they're going to get a consolation by being a little bit physical. We talked about this before. Sometimes you're just going to bash into someone just to make yourself feel better.
And we've seen this team play with a lot of emotion. I mean, even way back in the first game we called against Redeemer, it paid off. They fought till the very end, scored that extra time equalizer, but at this stage, you have to think playing with a level head is going to do you more good probably than really leaning into that frustration.
Another foul there. This time it was on Ignacio Torres, and now Carmoli is calling for everyone to go in the box. As the big and tall center backs of the Mountaineers heading into the box. Now Carmoli, who just received a yellow, will look to avenge that by maybe creating a goal-scoring opportunity, as that cross looks very good on target. Spills away from Cardos, but he will recover and hold on.
And there's a good, real first threat we've seen in a long while for this Mountaineers team, but this has been the story of the game. They'll have a moment like that, and then
They
the
won't have it
Condors
again.
settle back into their game.
See if the Mountaineers can change that just a little bit, but so far not able to. As Carmoli trying to put some pressure as Rodriguez with it. He'll play it back to Florescu. Florescu across the toll kick. And Conestoga will have no problem, no worries about just holding on to the ball like this. Especially with how the time is ticking. It's D'Souza back to Florescu. And obviously players are tired with the humidity and obviously having played a while, but you would love to see the Mountaineers just putting all the pressure they can.
Yeah, you want to see some sort of fight at this point. I mean, if you play defeated, you kind of are defeated, unfortunately. And right now, there's not a whole lot of battle out there. And that being said, they've had a couple of moments. They had that free kick a moment ago, and certainly they're not thinking it's completely over. But you got to be very frustrated with the way things have gone, pretty much from start to finish. After the first goal by Conestoga, I feel like that was almost the end of the last real balanced play we saw in this one.
Just seemed like mentally the Mountaineers just were not able, especially offensively, to get back into the game after that goal. As Giannicaro played across to Dajikema. He'll find Taven Brown. Brown into the middle. We'll play it back to Russell. Russell gives it across to Paxton, who finds Rafosco. Rafosco tries to get around and does. That ball does stay in play and will be sent back to the keeper there with some pressure coming from the Mountaineers, but will just be cleared away and will go out of play. So will be a Mountaineers throw-in. Brown plays it to Carmoli. That one out of play once again for a Mountaineers throw-in, as they continue to look for some sort of consolation here. As Russell will play it right back down. It's a beautiful ball there for Carmoli. He can keep it in. Can he keep possession? Not quite, as he's pushed off there by D'Souza. Continues to press for it and will go out of play for a Conestoga throw-in. As D'Souza plays it forward, pressure from the Mountaineers, but that throw-in will come in very easily. Florescu holding on to it, plays it across, gets it back. He'll put it down into the corner of Kohar. Kohar will play it right back to Florescu. Florescu into the middle. Win toll kick. We'll just play it back to D'Souza. Now down into Hunt. Hunt back to D'Souza. Kohar now. Into the middle. Nice tackle there by Russell. But it will go out of play.
A lot of contact by Russell there.
So it was called a foul. Is now in toll kick with it. Good pressure by Torres, but not able to come up with the ball's Manda kick. Plays it into the middle of toll kick. Plays the through ball. A lot of pushing and shoving, and that one will go out of play for a corner.
It's the 6th Conestoga corner of the game.
Corner on its way by Fodiatis. It's well taken and it goes in. What a header there.
Absolute rocket.
Bullet, a rocket, whatever you want to call it. Nothing Miller can do, as it seemed to also deflect off the Mountaineer defender in Franco. Just couldn't get enough of it, but really no shame in that. That was a bullet header.
And if the game wasn't out of reach before, I think that's probably the nail in the coffin. Unfortunate as it sounds, you see the replay of that absolute binger that just zipped right by Miller.
Unfortunate performance from the Mountaineers, as Torres will be subbed off. They just couldn't seem to get back into the game after those first couple of goals and create sustained pressure.
No, it's disappointing, especially after, coming off of your first win, and then despite the loss to Humber, like we've said, that's the #1 team in the country, and you took it almost to a draw and lost only due to an unfortunate penalty in the last minute. This maybe is seen as a bit more of a step back than that loss, but you're just going to have to try to find some sort of positive in the last 20 minutes here. Or 15 minutes, rather.
We'll have to see if they can find a positive, if that is a consolation goal. But so far, if you're just joining us, 4-0 for Conestoga, as they scored 3 goals in the first half thanks to Romano. Got a hat trick, and they just recently added to that lead with another set piece goal from the corner. I mean, Mountaineers have not been able to defend those in this one.
And it was Luka Jurosevic who gets credited with the goal after one of the best headers I think I've ever seen in person anyway.
In terms of power, that was pretty perfect. Right into the corner, an absolute bullet. And he was far out a little bit, just barely into the box. Very impressive stuff. It's the Mountaineers with it now. Franco tried to play it to Rafosco. And Tunez with it, being pressured. Loses it. Is a foul call. Good call by the referee. Now, the Mountaineers, another free kick. We'll have to see what they can do with this, but definitely it seems like this game's out of reach.
Yeah, and it's kind of felt like that way for a while, unfortunately, in a tough outing. Mohawk looking ahead of their schedule. We've got the Sheridan Bruins coming up on October 1st. That's actually going to be the last home game of the season, as crazy as it sounds to say, but this OCAA soccer season does go by quick once things get rolling, and then they're going to be at St. Clair and at Niagara, so a couple more opportunities to get themselves back in the win column, and they'd love to think playoffs, but it's hard to get your mind on that. I think this is a game you kind of, obviously you want to take things away from it, but you're really going to want to maybe burn the tape on this one and just move on to Sheridan, who you drawed with earlier in the season, and finish off your initial season at St. Mary's this Wednesday on a high note with a win.
Yeah, definitely have some short-term memory loss after this one. These games are going to happen to any team, whether in any sport. It's bound to happen. And it sucks in the moment. Definitely it's not fun for the players. But you got to move on. That's the way it is. As the throw-in comes in, Shot right back. Franco with his own shot off the post. And just unluckiness for the Mountaineers is they can't even get their consolation goal.
No, Franco with a really good opportunity, like you said, to get the consolation, and he just dings it off the bar.
Curled beautifully off the post and out. Would not go posted in. Has a free kick now on its way for the Mountaineers. Corner kick. As we wait now, will be taken by Carmoli, but definitely you wish that the Mountaineers, sure, for Franco, a player's been getting beaten up in most of the games we commentated. That would have been a nice consolation goal just to get some confidence back and to head in with at least one positive.
Yeah.
For the Bruins game, as the cross comes in, will be punched away nicely there by Cardos.
Franco's really taken on a bigger and bigger role as this year's gone on. We didn't see much of him in the early contest, but lately he's really stepped up and I thought played very well the last 2 matches we've commentated.
It's the goal kick from Miller. Try to get it to Rafosco, but headed away as another substitution being made. As Graydon Howie will be coming back on. We'll just have to see who he's coming on for. As Dajikema will be heading off. As once again, Condors on a counterattack. Florescu with it. D'Souza. Back to Florescu. Howie actually putting on some pressure. Now Rafosco is as well. As maybe that post gives a little bit of energy back for the Mountaineers, as they definitely want to get some positives out of this one.
Yeah, just something to walk away with this and say, hey, you know, we didn't stop fighting, and you want to feel like you belong in these games, and having a goal like that will definitely help.
Franco did slip there after trying to chip it forward. Now in toll kick. Plays it forward. A very nice tackle by Vilas, followed by Antunes. But now once again, the Condors come the other way, looking for a 5th goal. Which this game already seems over, but that would just be putting salt in the wound. As Rafosco with 2 great tackles, got the ball on both of those. And toll kick, plays it back to Kohar. That one goes out. Rafosco trying to throw it in. Doesn't really have any options. As Franco seemed to get the brunt of that.
And we can hear him from here. It seems to be in some serious pain. We get a replay and see what happened there.
As it was Manda kick. They're adding maybe a little bit too much on the end of that.
Franco is up, but did not sound pleasant.
I think he just got kicked on the foot, it looked like. Maybe on the ankle. As Rafosco with the throw-in. He looks for someone. Franco calling for it. He'll put it into the middle. Carmoli tried to find Aviles, but intercepted. Carmoli does get it back. Is challenged. Probably a yellow card. No yellow card. Will be a foul. And a free kick for the Mountaineers in a dangerous area to try to get that goal back.
Looks like everybody wants a piece of this free kick, but I think Rafosco will be the one, or is it Carmoli rather, will be the one to take it.
They're having some words, so maybe another trick setup play to get across into Russell.
We know the flow likes to get involved down here.
One of the taller players on either side, so definitely a guy that can get on the end of one of these crosses. Carmoli having some words here with Franco, who hit the post. We'll have to see who takes it here. The wall is made. Franco does not take it. It is Carmoli. Shot is low, but it is blocked just blocked, and that one will head out of play for a Mountaineer throw-in. Aviles makes his move very nicely around. That one will go out and be another throw-in for the Mountaineers. Aviles quickly trying to find Carmoli, but it's headed away by D'Souza. He'll play it forward. Carmoli continuing his pressure, wins the ball, forcing Florescu to just blast it into the trees for another Mountaineer throw-in, and I feel bad for the ball boy, as that is going to be tough to get.
Yeah, he's going to have to go on a bit of an adventure to figure out where the heck that one went.
As that one, I don't know. I know we're not at softball, but that looks to be gone, Matt.
As we would say, that one is out of here.
That one is definitely out of here, as the throw-in will be retaken now by Taven Brown. As another sub made by the Mountaineers. Brown throw-in over Carmoli's head. Does go out. Will be a Mountaineer free kick. So, obviously reserves were put in, but Mountaineers have looked a lot better since about the 80th minute in this one.
Yeah, you haven't seen just quite that. For the first, 25 minutes, like you said, up about to the 80th minute, it was just purely Conestoga doing pretty much whatever they wanted, controlling the pace, controlling the play, and like we keep saying over and over, when Mohawk got the ball, just nothing really materializing in a real dangerous fashion as another corner gets handled nicely there.
Cardos able to catch that one. Another good cross, but just too close to him as Aviles does get the interception. Can't make the move around. Will get his tackles. Definitely each player will try to get a tackle in just to make themselves feel better.
Get your lick in and really just get a piece of something here, as they're not going to get a goal, it feels like, unless there's some last-minute magic in the last 9 or so minutes here, or 4 or so minutes. I can't imagine there'll be too much extra time in this one.
Don't think so. There hasn't been a major injury, and definitely with the score being what it is, the ref will probably want to end this as quickly as possible. It's Russell able to clear that one away.
Yeah, not much to play for in extra time, down 4 goals.
As it will be a throw-in for the Condors, which will be taken by Bawa. He'll put it into the middle. Russell able to header it away. Bawa right on the volley with a beautiful cross, but no one able to get under that, as Carmoli will send it forward. Tried to find Torres, but it's just past him. As time continues to tick on this one, as we are nearing the 88th minute of play, as the shot from distance will sail right over and out of play.
Looks like things are getting vocal out there, Harrison. As really, it just feels like the playing as a formality now in the last 3 minutes here.
Yeah, I think both sides are definitely waiting for the final whistle. As big battle there, won by Tunez. He plays it forward to Brown. Taven Brown with a beautiful through ball there for Carmoli. Carmoli with a very nice touch. Can he cross it in? Cleared away by D'Souza, but very nice play there from the Mountaineers, as Carmoli nearly had a one-on-one chance there.
And why not? A corner kick goal right at the end. Let's see it, After all that, it would just be it'd be a hell of a way to end this game that has been real frustrating for Mohawk. But let's see, maybe get Giancarlo. It seems like they're getting just about everybody in the box, and it would be a tiny bit of consolation just to put one in at this point, especially with emotion seemingly running a little high out on the pitch.
Definitely could have had, obviously, that goal from Juan Franco to be a second consolation, as the corner does come in. Torres does get shoved to the ground there as he goes up. I don't think the ref saw it. It's now the through ball on the counterattack. But Brown able to hit it off to Paxson. He'll play it for Aviles. That'll be hit off of his foot for a Mountaineer throw. And as we are nearing the end of this one, as you said, I doubt there'll be any extra time, or at least not a lot of extra time, as we haven't really had any stoppages. And this game has been blown open. A much better 10 minutes from the Mountaineers, but definitely too little too late when you're down 4 goals.
Yeah, it's not really going to amount to much of a moral victory at all. Just knowing they put a little bit of pressure on when they're really not going to end the game with having challenged this Conestoga squad practically at all, with really 1 shot on goal to 8 for Conestoga. And yeah, not much to celebrate, unfortunately, if you're the Mohawk Mountaineers.
As we reach the 90th minute now, we'll just be awaiting the ref's final whistle, and definitely an underwhelming performance from the Mountaineers, especially offensively, as offside has been called. There's more subs being made by the Mountaineers. Sinclair will be coming back onto the pitch, as well as Joshua Phillips.
The first offside of the whole game.
Yeah, both teams, all of their runs have been onside. Definitely very different than how the women's match went, with how many offsides the Mountaineers got. As Paxton is grabbed and taken down. A foul is called, a late call there by the referee, and maybe the last chance of the game for either side. As Torres plays it quickly forward, down to Rafosco. Rafosco with the cross. It's a bit too hard and a bit too high, and that one will go out of play for a throw-in for the Condors. As D'Souza with it. Back across to the keeper there, Cardos. I wonder who they credit the clean sheet with. Both goalies?
It's an interesting question. I'm not sure. I would imagine the starting goalie gets the credit, but it's hard to say. Yeah, I'm not sure what the ruling there would be. Maybe they both get a half a clean sheet. I don't know. But the goalie who played the most, I would assume they credited to, and I think they made the sub with a little under half of this half left. So be interesting to see as this one gets wrapped up.
Yep, this one is over. As you said, Matt, just a complete game from Conestoga Condors, as the Mountaineers really just could not get anything going offensively. Didn't really have a response. Similar a bit to the St. Clair game, but definitely a lot more better play from Conestoga, as the Mountaineers to lose this one 4-0 in a pretty underwhelming performance.
A tough outing if you're a Mohawk Mountaineers sports fan. 2 losses today, but like we said, we'll be back on Wednesday for our last broadcast at St. Mary's this year against the Sheridan Bruins. So one more opportunity to get a couple wins, and we will look forward to seeing you then.
Yeah, we definitely will. As we said, the Mountaineers will have to have both teams short-term memory loss, especially for the men. Just forget about this one. Can't win them all. Every team has to get blown out. It's going to happen. You're going to get outplayed, so forget about it. Move on. For the women, obviously, you only lost 2-1. You had the lead. Take the positives and head on to the next one, as we said, against the Sheridan Bruins, who they've already had a draw for the men. So we'll see what they can do against them. And, me and Matt will both be there on Wednesday, and we're excited, and I'm sure the players will look to have much better performances than they did today.
Absolutely.
So thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you then.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.